Dirty Talks.
Well, Dirty, we're rolling.
Oh,
Take it away.
hey, skaters. It's me, Dirty Deborah Harry, with the lovely and talented RollerCon.
Dirty spirited sidekick.
That's it, baby. Okay, so we're back for another podcast episode, and what's kind of funny is how few we've done of these. And it's not because we're lazy. It's just that we've recognized that this is hard. So many people tell me, like, I want to do a podcast. I'm all, good luck. Go for it, dude. You have no idea how hard this is. It's hard, but I ain't about complaining. So today, well, let's acknowledge this one thing, like my shirt, we skate.
Let me just show them. Wait a second.
Here we go. Again, podcasting's hard, especially for the,
That is
the video.
so cute.
Okay, so this is from Paco Holmes. He is the man. Let's talk about being a supporter in the skate community. This guy is moving, shaking, building things. On Facebook, you can get onto his group called We Skate. Amazing. So generous. So amazing to the skate community. It's just awesome. But he sent me this shirt, and it's got glitter on it. So you know I'm going to wear it. Women like shiny things. Anyway, you guys, so we're going to do this podcast episode, but I think there's one difference in this episode as opposed to all other episodes in that I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I am going to allow Rolly here to just ambush me with questions, and I'm just going to have to answer them. I think we've just gotten to the point where, like, it's good for me to be surprised by a question, okay? I have been in this business for so long. I have done so many different interviews that I can literally answer a question based on the thousands of times I've been asked that same question. And you guys, this ain't me bragging about stuff. I'm just telling you, roller skating is interesting, and people are interested in talking about roller skating, and who's interested in talking about roller skating? That'd be me. So it just happens that those two forces come together, and I have been asked the same questions about roller skating for so long that I have pat answers. So apparently Rolly is done with me answering all those questions. And she's like, I'm going to throw some stuff at you. So hopefully there's not a lot of math involved.
No math.
Okay, listen, I went to Catholic school. I can write an essay on anything. I can pray in foreign languages. But when you ask me about math, I'm going to have to sit down. I ain't bad at it. I'm just saying it's going to take a little extra brain power. So again, I could talk about anything. All right. So let's get started, shall we?
You giving me the reins?
Yes. Let me get a sip here of my coffee. You guys check this out. My friend got me this. This is a Yeti. Okay. I don't understand the hype about the Stanley. This one is custom made with my name on it.
Perfect.
Right? I don't understand the hype about Stanley. I'm Team Yeti. Only because someone gave this to me. If I bought one, apparently I had a fake Stanley over Christmas. Why? Because I went to TJ Maxx and spent $8.99.
How'd you know it was fake?
Well, because it says like reduce, reuse, recycle on or some stuff. I don't care. I just needed one. I did not go for brand specific. I didn't know the Stanley thing was such a huge thing until for God's sakes, I got lulled in by TikTok. And I just started watching all these kids opening their Stanley Cups up for Christmas and freaking out. And I was like, why are they freaking out over an insulated cup? My God.
It's like anything.
If that,
yeah.
I'm sorry. But then my friend gave me this for Christmas, gotta admit, I kind of freaked out. It says dirty on it. I love it.
That's the best part. Well, speaking of dirty.
Speaking of rambling, let's go, baby. What do you got for me?
Give me control, boss. This is coming from a very special place. So most of you know, or at least you faithful dirty rollers that watch her channel on the regular know that I'm always trying to pull thoughts and feelings from Dirty. Well, you know, I have had a really special, unique honor to follow you around on a couple big events. And so I was at home and I was like, I gotta talk Vegas with Dirty, but not Vegas like baby Elvis style.
Damn.
I mean like dirty Vegas. I mean more than just the glitz and the glamour. You see, I got to be the fly on the wall. And I feel like all your people would love to know the things that I see in you. And I
have
just
no
want
idea
to
where
crack
this
you
is
like
going.
a pistachio nut. Like I just want to know the mindful management in your brain, because we did 2 very big events. And my job is to record and follow Dirty around and get the content for you guys so that you can be part of it, so you can learn things, all roller skating, you know. And because I'm there and I'm in her space, like more than, you know, I mean, probably only other person would be her husband. And I'm like privy to these moments where Dirty is taking on some serious stress. And I promise you guys, she has never lost her cool, ever. And being who I am, I'm an emotional creature, and I see the things that come at her. I would be curled up in a ball, rocking back and forth, like out of my mind, stressed out. Well, you see what happens. She personally sees what happens to me when my whole world is stressed out. But that's another topic.
You're adorable, though, because if you had been with me, I'm going on the 16th RollerCon. If you had been filming the early days of RollerCon, I'd be in trouble. Dude, the stuff that went on in the early days, that kind of dirty Vegas, whole different ball game. Let's just say we've mellowed down a little bit.
Yeah, well, all of those experiences
Yeah.
has gotten you to the point where you have been able to manage an influx of personalities,
Yeah.
circumstances,
Legalities.
big stuff. And here I am behind the lens. I feel excited and compelled to like jump into your mind and dig around a little. And I will say, like, there may be some things you either don't want to talk about or you'll just pass on. That's fine. But I'm going for it.
Do I get like 3 passes?
Well, that would be easy for me to navigate. So
Right.
I think
Okay,
your
okay.
passes are endless. I respect you as a human.
You know, my parents are still alive. I don't want to get in trouble. I've got those kind of parents. My parents are in their early 80s. I can still get in trouble for stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I know that feeling. Oh, the anxiety. Okay, so you know, I've been shooting Dirty for about 4 years. We've been friends
like it's
for
been longer.
like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And I recently have traveled with her to Vegas twice for 2 big events. One was RollerCon, and this recent one was for the Super Bowl halftime party, after party with, you know, Usher and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg with Flipper's Roller Boogie Palace. And both of these events, albeit they were very different in what was required of her, I watched her manage very important people. And I watched her navigate a road that I would never want to do and be able to be the most gracious, graceful person in the facility at all times. So I'm going straight for the big guns.
Seriously.
Right out the gate.
If you had come to early people who know me back me up. Early RollerCon days were wild.
Yeah. Well,
I was just starting out.
here.
I was just starting out.
So I'm going to go for the big guns
Okay.
first.
Go
and
ahead.
if you shut me down, you shut me down.
Let's do it.
Okay. So both times, Dirty was hit with, I don't want to call them roadblocks. Let's call them detours.
All right.
Both times she was hit with important management staff, either A, telling her she didn't belong in a space or couldn't operate in the space, the RollerCon one, or B, hey, your crew is a little hyped up, excited, you know, settle your crew down. And both situations were innocent. She's working with really stressful people who are managing things too. And I know that if I've gotten these kind of roadblocks where someone's telling me, complaining to me as the leader, it would be baggage on me for the rest of the ride. I have a hard time letting go of like, oh, they're pissed at me for this. Oh, they think I'm not this or that, negative stuff that isn't necessarily meant to be directed at her necessarily, but it's a hurdle and it's a big one. I'm trying to carefully kid glove it because I don't want to put anybody.
No, I mean, these
this
are
is
like
management things.
Very,
So,
to me, it's like normal things that some people encounter like in your regular work life. When I first started teaching and I first started traveling, I've taught in like, I want to say it's now 14 different countries. I've taught for the vast majority of my career, I've been alone. I was like alone on the road. I maybe had one other person with me, and a lot of things I just had to handle on my own and just figure out on the fly. So I feel really good now because I have more of a team with me that goes to these events, and we all play a little part and we're working together. Obviously, you're the person who's most important because you're following me around. And we're trying to make content. And here's the deal, you guys, when we make content for these events, it is never in the vein of, oh my God, look at what we're doing. We're at the coolest place ever. We are like,
because we're not.
When I say like, I'm your everyday average girl, I am trying to show you what the everyday person would experience there because I am that person, okay? I am not ever trying to elevate it to a situation where like, look where I am. I mean, that is ridiculous to me. So in the beginning, when I was first started to teach skating, first started to travel around, people were so nice and they were so gracious to me coming out, but I was riddled with self-doubt. So I feel like that I actually brought on more negativity to myself because I was so riddled with self-doubt. But then at some point I was just like, dirty, effing handle it.
So is that the voice in your head? Do you actually talk to yourself in your head like that?
God, completely. I walk into any room where I'm going to do something and I just tell myself, you got this. You can do it. You got it. You got it. Let's go. Let's go. I fully hype myself up because I have to. I did this so long by myself and this, when you're building things like, and I always refer to you guys, when we talk about things, I always refer back to roller derby. The reason why I do this, even though I was in figure skating, full-blown session skating, every kind of skating prior to roller derby, and roller derby was a short drop in my career, like a short stop in my career, is because in roller derby, and every roller derby girl knows this, we paved our own way against all odds. We built so many leagues worldwide, bank track, flat track. We took the sport to amazing levels. We took in anyone and everyone, and we made things happen. No one was showing us how. That's why if you look at people who are running things now in skating, a lot of them are former derby people because we didn't know what we were doing. We just knew we had to do it. So for me personally, teaching and going out on trips and, going all around the world, whatnot, I felt very lonely. And I felt like I just had to go. I knew I could do it. I just have to do it. And I truly believe that things will work out if you have two things. If you have good energy and you have good intention. So if you are going into a situation and you feel in your heart, okay, I got energy, I'm going to have a little extra so I have some to spread around, and then I have good intention. I know what I want this night to be, or I know what I want this event to be.
Okay, this is where I have to stop you. Sorry, I'm fully interrupting. But you're not a freaking robot, Dirty.
Yes.
And people, I'm just going to say it. People are rude. People are rude to her.
What?
And they are.
Well,
I see it. Now, I'm not saying they're being rude because they're directing directly rude to her based on her,
No.
but it's stressful circumstances.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that would just melt me. Obviously, there's different personality types in the in the world, but I refuse to believe that you do not have emotions.
No. But you know
have
that-
emotions.
Here, I do, but here's
how
the
do you
difference
deal
between
with that
me and
being
you.
personal?
Here's the difference between me and you, and this is why she is a lovely person. She does not totally 100% understand this about me. I love confrontation. Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Dude,
there we
I
go.
love
Cracking the nut.
confrontation.
Tell me
I don't
more.
have any problem with confrontation because there are so many ways to make it a good situation, and I just have to figure out what works right for that person. I just have to figure it out. Sometimes you just have to match energy. Sometimes you have to back off a little bit and give them a little wink. Who needs a hug? I don't know. There's so many different ways to go about this. And so when in the moment, if everyone's trying to get something done, so everybody's on high alert, everyone's been given a job for any kind of production you're doing, right? Someone has to be the safety person, someone's set up, someone's, audio, someone's the video person, someone's handling staffing, whatever. There's all these different people handling different jobs, and they're all fully stressed out and they all want to do a good job and they're not sure. And then oftentimes these things will pass. Like her and I, we are very mindful about filming wherever we film because we don't want to be the people that are like, oh my God, those exhausting influencer types that will film in public. Like, so every time we film, we're looking around like, golly, I hope nobody's watching. So like, for instance, we were at RollerCon last year and we started filming in midst the RollerCon crowd because we're like, oh, this looks really good. This is going to be able to show people next year what's going on in RollerCon and we want to show them. And then we got shut down like immediately. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys are not part of media. Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh, hey, we're just trying to... And that was a situation right then and there where you recognize that someone is legit trying to do their job. And they're trying to tell you, no, you cannot do this. So we have two choices. We can either get loud, get crazy, and turn this into a social media ridiculous thing where other people start filming, or go, okay, no problem. And then we just figure out who to talk to and smile and be happy and say, we have good energy, which we are presenting, and we have good intention. Our good intention is we are trying to film for the good of RollerCon or whatever event to try to make sure that this event, continues.
I'm still not there.
Go ahead.
Yes, that's the surface of it. Mm-hmm. But how do you, Dirty Deborah Harry, not take it personal? How do you move past those incidences?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, honey, do you have a secret spot in your brain where you're like, it's done and over with?
I think after a while, I'm going to say it again. Good intentions. I know what my intentions are. The other thing is, I know that person also has good intentions. It's coming out in the wrong way. Okay, it's just coming out in the wrong way. And you know what?
Yeah.
I could probably do this because I worked a roller rink for so long.
Oh,
you
okay.
work with so many different people at a roller rink, and they are coming in. When they come through that door, they may have not decided to leave all their own personal baggage in their car. No, they brought it with them. So they open the door to the rink, they come on in, and they are fired up. They're fired up about something. Now, because roller skating is so therapeutic, the minute that they walk in the door, they think, oh God, okay, this is the place. This is where I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. How do I know this? Because I do it too. Okay. I know that this is the magical square box of a roller rink. Ours is a big old rectangle. That beautiful wood floor. And you know, the second that you lace up your skates and you descend and connect with the floor, that all this stuff from the day starts to wash away.
Well, but you're not dealing with all roller skaters that are of that mindset. But you do. I guess the bottom line is you look at those moments as a challenge, as an opportunity to,
okay, nothing
like problem solve.
makes me happier than when someone's mad.
Yeah.
figuring out
she's
how
not lying.
to unmad them.
Yeah.
Like it
but
is.
then 5 minutes later, she's laughing and
We'll be friends.
playful and working on the next thing.
Worst
I mean,
things to me.
she
You
lets
could
it
say
go.
the worst things to me, and I'll be like, you don't know this yet, but we're going to be friends.
It's so true, you guys. It's
Some
a
of the worst people
magical-
that came through the rink and said crazy stuff to me. And it's not me. See, I recognize that it's not me. It's a bunch of stuff that's swirling around and they're coming into the rink, and for some reason something's not happening for them at the rink, and then they would get mad at me about it. Almost every time I can deflect that and have it turn around. But there were times when I was on my own traveling and stuff where if someone said something to me that was more about what I was doing, then that would hit me harder than,
Talk to me about that.
I mean, if
Do you take it?
it's pretty rare, but every once in a while, like, you know what it was? Not even people saying anything. You stand up in front of a group of people and you'll have certain eyes on you that are like, what do you think you're going to do? You got something to teach me?
What does
like
that
they're
do to you?
looking at you.
What does that do to you, Dirty
Okay,
Deborah Harry?
it
Are
used
you
to
invincible?
fill me with self-doubt.
Okay.
It used to be like, oh my God. And I would literally stare at that person. And then I'd have to tell myself, stop staring at them, because I would be like, please believe me. Everything I'm doing has good intention. I'm just trying to teach you. Please, 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 just listen to me. Listen to me. And then I realized that oftentimes when people are looking at you and they have this look on their face, it's because they have that look on their face. You know how
RBF?
RBF. We had a whole.
Did I use that properly?
Yes, we had a whole different word. I can't even say the term we had for that.
Okay.
But it was basically C face. We'd be like, so and so got C face, right? And it was hilarious, but I would think, like, when I was teaching, that these people were against me because of the look on their face and the way their body language was. And then I would talk to them afterward, and oftentimes it was the person that gave you the most grief that was actually your biggest fan. It was actually the person at the end that said, hey, this class was fantastic. You're great. I learned this, this, and this. They were the most attentive. They just didn't have control over their face.
Right.
And so, yeah.
So you've lived long enough to understand to just give it some time and space to work out. And in the end,
but at the
sometimes they're
beginning,
the one that
I'd be like, so-and-so, what's up with their face? Like, I'm not going to stand up here and try to teach you, and you got that face on. And then I realized sometimes I would just look at them and I'd be all, yo, what's up with the face? But again, it is over the years. I've been doing this for a long time. So over the years, I have recognized. But something like RollerCon is an event that is the people that go to RollerCon are very interested in learning about skating and very interested in participating. And it's funny because the vast majority of RollerCon is run by volunteer help, because the culture of roller derby and the culture of RollerCon is very volunteer. It's based on volunteerism and acts of service. Okay. So a lot of people coming in. So I tell you this, people take their jobs way more seriously when they're doing it as an act of service. They really do. They take it a lot more serious, and they're really on it. So for me, in that realm, I respect it. I don't go off on them at all if I feel any kind of pushback.
She never
to what
goes
I'm
off
doing.
on anyone.
Because if I did, if I let loose,
right? I mean, but in all fairness, to just put an end cap on this particular portion, you have certainly been justified to go off if you so felt.
Honey,
that's all I'm
we
saying.
could talk about a whole different question is, and you know this story about going off on someone, and we'll talk about that. But let me just say this about flippers in Vegas. Their situation is flippers Roller Boogie Palace is putting on these amazing skating events, and they are pushing what we are used to as far as what a session can be. Okay. They're really, really pushing it. So they hire a completely professional all around crew to make this event possible. And that's why it looks so amazing, because so many amazing people have had their hand in it. So when I, as just dirty Deborah Harry of the Dirty School of Skate, am encountering people who do production as a living, when they would talk to me, they don't have to be nice about it. They don't have time. They're like, we need this and you need to do that. And I'm like, let me get my husband, because I hired him. I got my husband came with me, and it was great because some guy would tell me something. I go, okay. I look at my husband. I'm all, you hear that? Okay, can you do that? Because I got to go do my hair. I'm like,
but
I don't know how to do that. You got to go find like a bunch of skate racks in the basement of this hotel. I don't know where that stuff is. Like, I'm usually just, like I sweep. Okay. I can sweep. I can clean a bathroom.
Well,
I have talents.
That humility is one of the things that I can certainly say or testify I have witnessed firsthand. It's real.
You know what?
As a matter of fact,
you clean enough. You clean. As a child at a roller rink. When I was like 8 years old, my mom would make me go clean the boys' bathroom. You know your place. For the rest of your life. You go scraping gum off floors. Come on.
Well, both times we were in Vegas. Again, I'm new to this with Dirty, but I am watching her with such intense eyes. So we get back and I say to Dirty, like, what was your best part? And she doesn't say, oh, Snoop Dogg, he was great. Dre, they're great. Of course, amazing. Usher, skating, all that's fun. It's all the sparkles around it all. But at the end of the day, you know what Dirty's favorite part? Tell them your favorite part of this recent Vegas trip.
Okay, so my favorite part, like the Flippers people go all out, okay? To say I'm grateful is an understatement. And you're there amongst people, like when we were talking about VIPs, there's so many. But
you're VIP adjacent.
Yeah, I'm VIP adjacent people. They don't put me in the real VIP section. I could just see it. I'm real close. But
just so you know, me and all your dirty rollers out there, you're our VIP.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it was so funny because, at some point in the night, people get crazy. They start drinking and then they bring their drinks out on the floor, and much to the dismay of our professional floor guarding crew, we're like, what are you doing? You got to get the drinks off the floor. And then inevitably someone will drop a couple drinks, and that is the worst thing that can happen. And we had to act quickly, get, it's like putting out a fire. You got to get that water up off the ground, or the drink off the ground. And so I looked real quick and I tried to find someone who actually worked for the facility, because I did not make sure that we had mops right on hand. They had told me that, we have a cleaning crew that's going to be roaming the place the whole time. They can do it. And I said, oh, okay. I
mopped on my hands and knees with paper towels.
Honey, I like to fly in on my own broom, Come on, give it to me. So it was kind of funny because I looked, and the first person I saw was this little this little lady that was working there. And I knew she was working there because she had all the cleaning supplies, and she was just walking around picking up drinks and picking up after people. And I said, hey, and I just started asking her for stuff. I need a mop, I need a broom, if you don't mind, ba, 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 ba. And she get real wide-eyed, and I realized, oh, no hablo inglés. Okay. She does not speak Spanish, this lady. Or does not speak English, I should say. And I could tell right away. I'm like, oh, okay. So I start throwing some Spanish at her to just mostly amuse her. and further confuse the situation. But we start communicating, and then she starts walking to go get something that I need, and I'm like, I'll follow her. When she takes me on this journey through this whole hotel, where we end up on an elevator, and we're going down to the basement. I'm skating through the depths of the Encore Hotel, and where all the people are hanging out. Like, this is all the staff people. And I got to admit, I love hanging out with staff. That's my favorite thing. I'm roller skating through the thing, and all these guys are like, hey, and everyone's shouting and like laughing because I'm on roller skates, and it just looks weird.
Unusual.
You're in the basement here. And so I'm and nobody's speaking English, and I'm pointing and grabbing, and then we got to go back. So I take the lady back. Her name is Isabel. She's a Cubana. And we go back into the elevator, and I'm trying to tell her, totally hilarious because my mind is kind of fried, and I'm really focused, and I'm all, mi esposo está aquí. My husband is here. And she's looking at me like, okay. I go, mi esposo habla español. And she's like, oh, yeah. Like, now we're good. Now we got somewhere, right? And then just start laughing, saying little things back and forth. She's saying in English. I'm answering in Spanish. We're going back and forth. It was hilarious. And then she got out there, and she totally helped us. And I brought her over to my husband, and it was all chaos where they're handing out skates. And I'm trying to introduce my husband to this woman, and then they start speaking Spanish, and everyone's happy. And I know she's saying nice things because I understood what she was saying. She told my husband that she thought I was so pretty, and she said that I was like a big bright light out there. And I said to myself, you know what? People like this do not BS. You take a compliment from someone like that, that's the real deal. Yeah. And I thought she was so helpful, and she didn't need to be. She could have just walked away from me like, who am I? Who's she? Whatever. But, we went out there and cleaned up everything. And then after that, she was so on it, like all night long. She would wave at me, ask me if I needed anything, was so incredibly helpful. And I thought, how funny. In the midst of so many famous skaters, so many famous people, that you've got this gal who is now living her best life here at this party. She realizes, oh my gosh, like this is actually probably kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. And I think it's just a weird thing. Like, you're in the midst of all of this going on, and you just have this moment with this one person. And when it comes down to it, I can totally relate to her.
Yeah.
Because essentially, we do the same job. I mean, I do other jobs. She does other jobs. But in this small instance, we connect. We're like, I need a broom. You got a broom? I need a mop and some paper towels. Let's make this happen. It was cool. I like her.
That's exactly it, Dirty. That is what makes you so extra special, is you see and love, like, and just deal with and accept the humanity of people. Like, I had a really crappy return trip.
She did. Poor Adria.
And I puked on the plane.
And not because Adria partied. Not Adria partied. Adria got visited by her monthly, and that thing is just ruthless.
Yeah, I get pretty nasty migraines with the nausea and all that. But needless to say, as I worry, because I am so, what I hate to say, but physically I'm a bit of high maintenance for Dirty quite often. I'm like her child when we travel. I'm like a bag of luggage. Not to mention my luggage doesn't have wheels.
Okay.
But that's a whole nother.
Adrian shows up at the airport like the coolest person you've ever seen, dude. She's got these dreadlocks. She's wearing this crazy ass outfit, and she's got a bag you carry with your hands, okay? It doesn't have wheels on it. I don't understand this.
She called it my carpet bag.
She's a carpet bagger.
It's my grandma's. It was my grandma's suitcase.
Her grandma's suitcase, dude. She's the greatest. I'm like, look, I can carry your bag, which I am calling a carpet bag because that is what it is. And it's got no wheels on it. I'm like, I will put your bag on my bag. She's like, you don't need to carry my bag. I go, I'm not even carrying my bags.
She did. Okay, but here's the thing: is the insecurity in me is like, this happened the first trip to Vegas because again, I didn't puke on that one, but I was definitely, I'm not a good traveler. Let's just be honest. I thought for sure that's the last time she's ever going to ask me to do anything with her. She needs someone more efficient. She needs someone better. She needs someone more with it. And then I pulled that crap last weekend.
It was great.
And
on the way home, how did you characterize yourself, how you looked?
I literally looked like I had a drug problem and I was hungover and I was possibly without a home.
Yes.
And
you were a drug addict experiencing homelessness with your grandma's bag.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this.
Carpet
I ain't
bagger.
lying. That's exactly what you
I look like an addict.
We were like, oh my God. And I'm like,
and I'm in this crew. I'm like we are in the bougiest hotel you could ever imagine,
really nice.
Where the creme de la creme arrive, and I'm in the lobby heaped up in a pile of person with my belongings, not sophisticated.
Yeah, we could have probably gotten kicked out.
Dreads, and I'm like, I can't function, and then I'm in the lobby and I'm there and I'm attached to Dirty Deborah Harry. I'm like, this woman is going to fire me. I know we'll still be friends. I'm not worried about that. But I think this is my last day on the job for the Dirty School Skate channel.
You are so good at what you do that you can look like a homeless carpetbagger with a drug problem trying to get out of a fancy hotel. And I will never fire you. Are you kidding me?
It makes me emotional.
We should have filmed that.
That is true. I mean, like, come on.
You're
if anybody could cramp someone's style, it's me. And
with your cramps.
But seriously, like the story she told you about Isabella. Is it Isabella?
Yeah.
That's so real. And like, so to me, that's the thing that I think is so important for me, for your viewers and your listeners to understand is that you see humans, and if they're famous, fine. If they're not, it doesn't matter. You have such a real connection to people. Just, it's genuine, and you love them where they're at, and you don't leave them behind. And she certainly could have kicked me to the curb, but didn't. And I'm not groveling, because if you ever decide you need to kick me to the curb.
Next
on my
podcast, Dirty by herself with hideous lighting, has no idea how to film herself. You know I need you.
Okay, well, we talked about your highlight.
Yeah.
In the 2 Vegas trips. You can pick one.
Yeah.
Is there anything that stood out that really disturbed you, bothered you? Anything? Come on, Dirty. Don't try to be all perfect.
No.
Like anything. You talked a little about like.
I'll tell you this. It doesn't really disturb me, but there is some like, some thoughts I have at Flippers when all the social media came out and everybody's posting. So many people are posting about their experience there. It's all super cool. It looks fantastic. And it is. But here's the deal. I always get a little bit sad for the people who aren't there. And then they think that what they're doing and what they're experiencing skating is somehow less than what we're experiencing there. And let me tell you about something about RollerCon. Not RollerCon, I'm sorry, hearkening back to roller derby, okay? So one time I was in LA, and we were at the LA Derby Dolls facility, which at the time was this incredible facility. Huge bank track, all this extra room, decorated like, I mean, they used to film there a lot. This place was unbelievable. So we had a tournament there, and I was working. And I was selling skates and stuff. And these people came up to me and they were like, I said, hey, do you guys play roller derby? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we play. And it was a guy and a girl. Yeah, we play. But, nothing like this. And I go, what do you mean? And where do you play? And he said, upstate New York. I go, oh, cool. That's awesome. So, yeah, but we don't have a place like this. Our team isn't like this. Like, basically, we don't have shit. Mm-hmm. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Do you think this is real? I said, dude, excuse me. This place that we're at right now, this is Hollywood, okay? This is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. The vast majority of people skating derby are skating derby just like you are at home. You got some DIY situation going on. You're trying to put it together. You're working with your friends. You're scraping for cash. You're doing fundraisers all the time. You don't know what the heck you're doing, but you have a dream and you're believing it and you're putting it together and you put together a bout and you guys have a great time. And this can be said for everything, like all the different pop-up rinks and stuff. So when you see something like Flipper's Roller Boogie Palace, they are really pushing what it means to have a session. But this is the Super Bowl after party. This is not meant to... This is something, a once-in-a-lifetime situation. This isn't meant to have you feel bad about the situation in which you're skating at. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to people who are like, I learned how to skate in my basement. I learned how to skate with one other friend in a gravel driveway. You're like, all these different places. Some of my absolute best memories have been skating in the craziest spots with the worst setup, and we still did it, and we made memories. So memories are being made at these high-end, great, amazing places, but the biggest memories are being made where you're at with your friends, with these people that you just introduced to skating. That's when you think back on this 10 years from now, 25 years from now, you're not going to remember that a bunch of people were at a party in Vegas. Okay. You're going to remember where you were in your development, your core memories of skating. And generally they're usually the craziest stuff that's happened to you within skating, or the stuff that you didn't think you could do. So one woman sent me a message and she said she felt really bad because she was watching everyone skating there and that she was just at home putting away her daughter's toys. So I was really moved by that because I thought, that is bigger than what we're doing. Okay, we're showing roller skating as this amazing thing that it is. And this event, amazing that it is. But this should never be in the same space as you doing something as simple as putting your child's toys away. These are completely different things. I don't want those things to be thought of as something that, oh my God. FOMO is real, though. I ain't going to deny. You look at that and you're like, there was this song from the 50s called Party Lights, where the girl, her mom won't let her go out and she can see the party going on across the street because she can see the party lights, and she's begging her mom to go out. So when I was talking to this person, I was like, that's what it feels like. And other people sent me messages too, like, oh my God, I wish I could have gone, blah, blah, blah. But please, if anything, use these events that you see that seem to be something that you're experiencing FOMO or that you want to do. Use them as a catalyst to do things that are possible in your area. Okay, we have a whole different podcast about this kind of stuff, but I just,
Well, on that is the key reason why you belong at those events, because you bring the realness, you ground us all. At this stage of the game, I'm going to say, I don't think we could corrupt Dirty. I don't think she's going to suddenly be too famous or too
old for that.
Bougie for the realness of what what's happening.
You know what was too crazy? Can I say this one other thing?
You say what is
When
dirty
I
talks.
would watch people, they're so good, like on the floor. I was like, oh my, no, so-and-so so good. And then they would come up to me and be like, Dirty, we learned everything from watching your videos. And I was like, I know. Okay. Thank you. I thought that was insane. And then I would go over and just chuckle to myself. And I thought, who would have thought those little videos, someone would take it and do that with it? Like the way they were skating was so amazing. Now I recognize that they learned other things after they learned from me. But the thought of them in their basement watching this simple video that we were making when my nephew was with me. We did not know what we were doing. Shout out to people who want to make a YouTube channel that say, but I don't know how. Well, look at my first videos. We didn't know anything. It's real evident. We were just giving it a go. But when I see really good skaters at these parties and they tell me that I had any bit of involvement in their development as a skater, it makes me understand that my work has value, and that's all I can ask.
Absolutely. Well, Dirty, I am thankful that you were willing to go there with me.
Yeah.
I have a lot more, but I feel
I'll go anywhere with you as long as you can keep it together.
And I can't. And you know what? She still loves me.
Of course, why not?
I mean, she hasn't kicked me to the curb for being Derek calls me flimsy.
Aw.
He says, "You're flimsy, honey."
Derek's
and
your
I was
husband.
born, my husband. I was born a flimsy person.
That's because I'll tell you why. I know why.
A lot
because
of sensitivity.
well, you're empathetic.
I don't know.
You're empathetic, and that's, you take on a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. But the bottom line is I hope we could do more podcasts where Dirty will let me dig around a little into her thoughts and feelings, because like I said, I feel really compelled to have your skaters not only learn how to skate from you, but get to know you as a person, because I think the reason she's so good at teaching and observing things that we're doing wrong or right and being able to articulate back what we need to change is because she's so interpersonal with people, even off skates, like just totally skates aside. She has this incredible ability to see people and process information really fast and eliminate emotional responses. And I'm like, I know I yelled at you earlier, like, you're not a robot, because I know that because I've seen you very sensitive to people.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted your audience
Yeah, I don't
to
even
get a
know
taste of
how that kind of, thank you. First off, your compliments are like heard and totally super happy about that. But I don't know how that developed. I just think that after a while of teaching so many different types of people, you get really good at seeing things. And a lot of times when people come to a class or to a lesson, they will be a little bit more vulnerable and you could see a little bit more. And I just came to the realization after a while that this ain't all just about skating.
it really isn't. And you are
People are like, when they ask me what I do for a living, I love to say, I teach people how to roller skate because I know how insane that sounds. It sounds so stupid. But then in reality, I'm like, but you don't even know, man. Like, we get on some levels here when we're sorting out some other, we're sorting out some other stuff.
It's a whole psychology.
And then I learned to. So I learned to. But it's funny for me to find myself in the midst of like a giant skate party where all this stuff is happening. I feel so comfortable working that event rather than attending it as a person, because it's easier for me to interact organically and authentically with people when I'm working. Okay? I appreciate that everyone else is skating around and people want to be on camera and they're having a good time. And I would rather just be wearing my whistle, going around helping people. Like, it's more, and then telling people what they can and can't do. Sometimes I got to play floor cop.
Oh, yeah. But she does it well. I mean, you really do.
Lots of training.
Well, Dirty, I feel
Thank
like
you.
we did good. Would you be willing to do another one of these?
Of course. course.
Hey, you heard it here
course.
first.
Of course, if I think
Dirty
it benefits
thoughts and
people,
feelings.
listen, if you throw questions in the comments and we will answer them. And I feel like too.
Actually, DM RollerLocks and I'll keep a list because I'm very that way. If you have some serious questions, not related to how to do something, but maybe more on the thoughts and feelings side of things, send
that'll
it
be
to
fun.
my DMs and I'll keep a list for the next time we do thoughts and feelings with Dirty.
She's so funny. She's just randomly like, what are your feelings about this? And I'm like, I have none.
I heard this the other day. I'm like, Dirty's like a pistachio nut. Hard on the outside, and then you crack it open, and all the tasty stuff's on the inside.
Ooh.
Does that
Hear
mean?
that? Tasty. I love it.
All right. Well,
All right, girl.
you want to sign us off?
We got to get out of here. You know what I want you to do? I want you to go practice. I want you to really, really, really understand that wherever you're at in your roller skating journey, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Be careful when you watch social media for it not to taint your own experiences in skating. You're on your own journey, your own path. Let that be. Let it play out in front of you, okay? Please don't look at stuff that's going on in social media and thinking, I wasn't there, therefore I am not part of the community, or I don't have something to offer the community. You do, okay? It might actually pressure you to do more, and that would be great for everybody. But please don't think I wasn't invited, I wasn't there, and somehow it's not that your journey is not valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're friends with Dirty, meaning like a Rolly student, a Rolly viewer of Dirty, you're a VIP.
Oh yeah, dude, we're all VIPs.
So just stick close to Dirty.
Yeah, it's funny, you know. VIP adjacent, baby. That's where the party really goes down.
I love you.
I'm working every event. I'm always working. All right, we got to go. Go practice. Love you.
Bye, guys. We love you.